say that the weather conditions have just improved fractionally, but the ground has changed to heavy. So if you're still trying to work out what to back in the Hennessy Gold Cup, go for something with plenty of stamina. It's going to be very testing. All 17 runners are now in the paddock, and they're parading, as you can see behind me. And Tony McCoy just going forward with Martin Pipe to get a leg up on Lady Cricket, who's not the best-looking individual in the paddock here, Mick.
You wouldn't pick her out purely on looks and size, anyway, that's for sure.
But she's certainly got the. She can certainly do it. She's, as she proved at Cheltenham, she's got the ability.
Ultra impressive at Cheltenham. You know, when she was running on towards the line, didn't look to be stopping, and that's the one that you've always got to look for. But it's a totally different ball game today. Conditions are very, very tough out there.
Now, what would you be really thinking about right now if you were in this race just having got a leg up?
I think basically you'd look for the qualities that your horse has got. If you've got stamina in abundance, you'd be absolutely delighted with how they were finishing in the last race, because you know that's really going to stand you in good stead. If, on the other hand, you're riding something like Lady Cricket and you're worried about the ground conditions and stamina, well, then you'd be absolutely wetting yourself, because you know it's not going to be in your favour.
What a delightful phrase that is. But it's going to be quite a rough race because there are so many of them in there with a good chance.
The thing is, you're racing for £90,000 here. There's going to be no quarter asked and no quarter given. This is going to be a rough race, because everybody will want to be in what they call a box seat, you know, the real good position just behind the leaders, biding their time. But 18 into 1 doesn't go, so basically somebody's going to be done.
Well, it is great at Newbury here. Such an intelligent crowd. The crowd is about 4 deep, 5 deep in places, looking at these horses, trying to work out what to back. Let's show you the full field now for the Hennessy Cognac Gold Cup. It's the 44th running, and 17 stand their place.
And what a field it is too. Number 1 is Bow, who's second favourite at the moment at 11-2 for the Cheltenham Gold Cup with Hills. Carl Llewellyn in the saddle. 2 is Lord Noley, who's a non-runner. 3 Alexander Banquet, Ruby Walsh over from Ireland. 4 Splendid, Robert Thornton. Number 5 Strong Tell, David Casey. 6 is Red Marauder, Richard Guest and Norman Mason combining again. They won the previous race with Red Arc, and that was Norman Mason's 200th winner. Number 7 is Lady Cricket, Tony McCoy. 8 Windross, Richard Johnson. Number 9 King's Mark, going for his 4th consecutive win of the season, and the £5 claiming conditional, David Dennis in the saddle once again. 10 is Fox Chapel King from Ireland, Shea Barry. 11 King's Road, Jamie Goldstein. Number 12 Bouchasson is Robert Widger. 13 Gingembre, being ridden by Andrew Thornton. Number 14 Ad Hoc in the second set of Robert Ogden's colours. He's also got King's Mark. Timmy Murphy rides Ad Hoc. Number 15 is Esprit de Cotte, John Kavanagh. 16 is Norsky Lad, Joe Tizard. Number 17 Folly Road, Henry Oliver claiming the 3. And 18 Zaggy Lane, Simon Burrow. So there's 1 non-runner, number 2 Lord Noley. The going is now changed to heavy. 17 go in the Hennessy, one of the best we've seen for years. And here with a full show of betting, Angus Loughran.
Thanks, Jim. This is a tremendous betting heat. King's Mark, I saw plenty of 4s, but the opening show for the offices would be 7-2, now 3-1. Tremendous support for that. Fox Chapel King, also good money. I saw 8 very early in the ring. That's now 11-2 from 6s. Very, very good support for these two. I would say here, very weak in the ring, Ad Hoc. That one's the one that's being knocked out, and also Lady Cricket, weak in the ring. But the money at the moment here in the ring is for King's Mark and for Fox Chapel King. Well, there's no doubt at all that since that Edward Hamner race at Haydock, King's Mark has been one for the Hennessy. I don't know whether viewers on Grandstand will remember that I mentioned it was a 10-1 chance after the Edward Hamner. Well, there was 14 in a place with the tote, but that is long since gone. And here on the track today, it's been a very well-backed horse. It was 5-1 in the offices this morning, 4-1 here on the track, and it's now 3-1. Fox Chapel King, as I mentioned, has also been very well backed, and the ones they don't want, not seen too much money for Bow, and I've not seen too much money for Lady Cricket, and I certainly haven't seen too much money for Ad Hoc. If you want to be on Ad Hoc, I'd say that's the big drifter, despite the fact that it was the anti-post favourite at 10-1 when the prices first came out. But King's Mark is the favourite at the moment, currently 3-1.
There is Bow, the top weight, 11 stone 10 on his back. The mount of Carl Llewellyn, who's discarded King's Road to ride this horse, was very impressive in winning the Whitbread Gold Cup at Sandown. He will need to put up a performance of that calibre to win again today off this weight.
Well, I wonder if Carl's made the right decision. We'll know very shortly. Just looking there behind him, following, is the Irish raider, Alexander Banquet. Ruby Walsh, we saw him in Ireland only a week ago. He still had a plaster on his wrist, but he's a great jockey, Ruby, in leading the jockeys table in Ireland. Alexander Banquet's first run since finishing second to Lord Noley at the Cheltenham Festival last March, but he's done a lot of work. Willie Mullins is hopeful. Good chasing sort this by Glacial Storm.
There is Splendid, the mount of Robert Thornton, trained by Alan King. Splendid was second in this race last year, but disappointed on his return to the track at Cheltenham. He looked a little in need of the race that day and really does need to improve. If you look back over the record of the last 10 years, all the winners have finished first or second in their prep races.
He is blinkered for the first time, though. That often galvanises them, doesn't it? Well, what about the colours we've already seen? Strong Tell, red and white of Terry Neal. This horse only ran 3 times last year. He won his first twice and then unseated his rider behind Bow at Doncaster. He will go in soft ground. He's also gone on fast. The trip is no bother either because he's won over this distance at Cheltenham.
There is the colours that won the last race, ridden by the same jockey, Richard Guest. Red Marauder, been put down as a high-class horse, always had a little bit of trouble with his tendons, so he's been on and off through the seasons, but he is a high-class horse. You can see him just at the bottom of the picture, you can see the bandages on him there, but he was well beaten behind Lady Cricket last time at Cheltenham. The question mark, as we will see over Lady Cricket in a second, is whether she gets the trip or not, but Red Marauder, at his best, would have a chance.
Well, we've heard about the mare there. She is Lady Cricket. Stamina is the doubt. The furthest she's won over is 2 miles, 5 furlong. But she did win very impressively by 10 lengths in the Thomas Pink Gold Cup last time out. Not a lot of her. Wouldn't win a beauty contest, but she's won 9 of her 18 races over jumps. And that certainly is a great accolade. She's tough. We'll only know shortly whether she'll get the trip or not.
There is Windross, the chosen mount of Richard Johnson. As I say, Alan King has 2 runners in this race. Windross put up a fair performance last time when he finished behind King's Road at Wincanton. There's a lot of stable confidence behind this horse. He's 10 to 1 from 11 to 1.
Well, I've spoken to David Dennis's father down in the paddock beforehand. He's hopeful for his young boy here. David, who rode this one so well to win at Haydock last time out, loves the ground.
Foxchapel King, one of Ireland's leading stayers. He finished runner-up in the Irish Grand National, and he advertised his well-being with a 5-cell win at Cheltenham last time.
What about King's Road? This is the one we're seeing now in the stripes. Jamie Goldstein on board. He rode him to be second on his only run this season down at Wincanton behind Flaked Oats when Ad Hoc fell at the last. He was in trouble several times in the race. This will go close. He loves the ground.
There is Bouchasson, a decent novice, disappointed a little bit last year. He was cheaply bought by his owners in France. He loves the soft ground. He could run us a big race here this afternoon.
Lavinia Taylor owns and trains Gingembre, and this one's form is unseated, brought down, fell, but last season put up 4 wins, 3 of them in a row. A very decent animal, and there's been a lot of people backing it at 40 to 1. It's now 25s.
Ad Hoc, the second of Mr. Robert Ogden's owners, spoke to the trainer Paul Nichols about this horse. He said this horse is going into unknown territory as to whether he'll get the trip on the ground. He fell last time when he was in front at Wincanton.
And in the colours of Trevor Hemmings, of course, won the big race Beecher last week. Could he win this with Esprit de Cotte? The horse fell in the Grand National, the Martel National. Beecher's second time was running a big race. His form figures are not inspiring, but he's a good horse.
Norsky Lad, the youngest horse in the race at 5 years of age. He was a decent juvenile hurdler back in 1998-99. He was impressive when beating Lord Neely in a novice chase at Kempton. He was disappointing last time, although he did win on behind Lady Cricket at Cheltenham.
And Folly Road there, ridden by Henry Oliver, claiming 3, was second to Bow in the Whitbread. Beaten quite a long way that occasion. Hasn't shone so far this season. Has a bit to do here for local trainer Di Williams.
There is the bottom weight. He's only got 8.13 in the long handicap. Zaggy Lane, he looks to have no chance, but he does love the heavy ground. And at 100 to 1, do you take a chance, an each-way chance, that you could get a little bit of money back and him handling the ground?
Well, as they start to look at the first fence there, that is King's Mark, who's being very well supported on board. 21-year-old David Dennis. Oh, it's a big day for him. I spoke to him earlier. Well, David, it's been the most fantastic season so far, but this really is a big opportunity for you.
Yes, indeed. You know, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity by all connections. So looking forward to it.
How did you enjoy riding King's Mark at Haydock?
Yeah, it was a great thrill that day. It was the biggest success of my career so far, and hopefully we can better it again today.
Now, the Hennessy is special to everyone, but particularly to you. What are your memories of the race?
Yeah, back in 1996, my dad was fortunate enough to train the winner. It was a great thrill for all of us as a family that day, and hopefully I can look back upon it as one of the best days of my life.
And that's you on the right there, having led him into the winner's enclosure. You look very excited and very young.
That's right. I think I was 17 at the time, but yeah, that was a great day. Hopefully I can get the same result again myself.
Are the family here to support you today?
They are, yeah. Mum and Dad have come up, and my sister and brothers. So looking forward to it.
Now, are you nervous at all? You seem not to be.
A little bit tense, but hopefully I got a ride in the previous race on good experienced handicapper Chief Song. I can get out and have a feel of things and get the feel of the track.
And then what's your plan in the Hennessy? Because that ground does look very testing.
Well, I walked the course with Mr. Todd Hunter again this morning. He was fairly happy with the way I rode him at Haydock, and he'd like me to ride a similar race again.
Well, David, best of luck to you. I should think everyone will know your name if you're in the Hennessy today.
I hope so. Thanks very much.
Well, Mick Fitzgerald and I were having a good look at these horses in the paddock, and Mick, the one thing that you pointed out about King's Mark is he's not very big.
No, he's not. He's a little horse that coped very, very well with big fences around Haydock. The one big plus this fella's got is he loves this ground, and the boys who come in, I went in and saw them after the previous race, and they said the ground is very, very deep out there, you know, and it's going to take a horse with plenty of stamina to get home.
So setting aside your loyalty to Robert Ogden, because obviously those are the colours that you're most familiar with, which horse in the field, given the conditions, would you now think that's the one I want to be on?
I think there's two horses in here, and I think Windross is one. Bow, solid type. If King's Road jumps, this fella's got an outstanding chance.
So King's Road, Bow and Windross. And let's take a look at the market, because the money will certainly talk. And King's Mark is our favourite at 3-1. It's then 5-1 Fox Chapel King. There's been money for the Irish horse. 7-1 drifting slightly is Ad Hoc. 7-1 and Steady King's Road. 8-1 Bow. 8-1 also Alexander Banquet. Out to 9s and then back into 8s is Lady Cricket with Tony McCoy. And Windross now is a 10-1 shot from 12-1. That no doubt is because of the softening ground, which I'll just remind you is now heavy.
3 miles, 2.5 furlong skew. This is Ad Hoc. Timmy Murphy rides. Of course, he won the race a year ago on Ever Blessed. Can he double up?
Quite possibly, as I said. I spoke to the trainer Paul Nichols. Question mark over this horse. I like so many of them. Is he going to get the trip? He's by Strong Gale. The Strong Gales don't usually like the soft ground. They're coming into line, so I think it's probably best if we hand over to Jim. Jim, over to you.
Thanks, Stu. Yes, they're coming into line now for the Hennessy of the year 2000. That's it, under orders, and they're racing in the Hennessy. And Bow, the top weight, is the first one to show from King's Mark, who takes up a very prominent position. Folly Road is there as well, followed by Spended as they come to the first of 21 fences in this very heavy ground. Jumping in fourth is Windross on the inside of Jean Jambre, and further back in the field then is Esprit de Cotte. Followed then by King's Road. 2 lengths back in the field then is Fox Chapel King as they come towards the first of the ditches. Alexander Banquet, another Irish runner, is up there as well, followed by Norsky Lad, and back on the inside is Buchason. 2 lengths back in the field then is Ad Hoc, followed by Red Marauder, who settles fourth last as they come now to the third. Strong Tell is out the back, so too is Lady Cricket, being ridden very quietly from behind, and Zaggy Lane is last of all. Continuing their journey down the back and heading towards the fourth. And the leader here is Bow on the inside from Folly Road. They jump it together. From in third place, Windross, and then up in fourth is King's Mark, followed by Esprit de Cotte. 2 lengths then to Jean Jambre, followed then by Spended and King's Road, who's getting a bit closer in the centre. Followed then by Fox Chapel King, and further back is Alexander Banquet. Norsky Lad wasn't too fluent at that back in the field. Giving them a start is Ad Hoc with Strong Tell, and also back towards the rear is Red Marauder Buchason, and Zaggy Lane whips them in as they leave the back now on the first occasion. And Bow shows shows the way by a length and a half in the Hennessy to Folly Road, who's up in second. Then in third is King's Road, followed then by King's Mark. David Dennis has got a beautiful position, fourth on the inside. Half a length to Jean Jean, followed then by Spended, and right there in the centre is Windross from Esprit de Cotton, Red Marauder. Further back then is Alexander Banquet from Fox Chapel King and Ad Hoc, who's out very deep on the track as they come to the cross fence on the first occasion. Norsky Lad is back in the field. So too at this stage is Alexander Banquet in company with Fox Chapel King. Well back is Strong Tell, followed by Lady Cricket, who's on the inside of runners right out the back. Zaggy Lane is giving them an enormous start as they head into the straight, and Bouchasson is last of all. Heading up the straight on the first occasion in the Hennessy, and Beau, the top weight, who's second favourite for the Cheltenham Gold Cup, but lumbered with a big weight here, shows the way by 2 lengths. To in second, Folly Road, who took a bit of a risk at that, but got over it okay. Norsky Lad, a mistake back in the field. King's Mark is up running third. They're followed by Esprit de Cot and Windross right there in the centre. On the near side is King's Road as they come to the open ditch, followed then by Jean Jean, who's made some ground. Alexander Banquet right there in the centre from Spended, and then Fox Chapel King. Lady Cricket with those blue blinkers over on the far side, the spotted cap as they come to the next plain fence. Ad Hoc has just lost a little ground, followed then by Zaggy Lane making some ground in company there with Strong Tell as they head up towards the one that'll be the last next time round. Bouchasson is second last, and Norsky Lad is last of all. Out in front it's Beau, who's jumping well. He jumped it very high there, the top weight, leads by half a length or so. To in second place Folly Road, then tucked away in third is King's Mark, who's being ridden a beautiful race at this stage. They're followed then on the near side by King's Road as they come to the water. Windross getting through on the inside, followed by Jean Jean. Further back then is Spended from Red Marauder, Alexander Banquet. Fox Chapel King on the inside, saving ground from Ad Hoc, then Esprit de Cot. Further back is Lady Cricket in company with the stablemate Strong Tell as they leave the judge behind. All 17 are still standing. Well back in the field behind Strong Tell is Zaggy Lane, followed by Bouchasson, and Norsky Lad is last of all. Heading into the back, they're back where they started now, and heading towards the first one down the back. Beau led over it from Folly Road. They both jump it well. Then in third is Windross on the inside of King's Mark from King's Road. Half a length to Jean Jean, followed next by Spended and Fox Chapel King as they come to the next ditch. They're followed by Esprit de Cot and Red Marauder. Back in the field is Alexander Banquet from Ad Hoc out wide. Lady Cricket saving ground on the inside. Then Strong Tell, a gap to Zaggy Lane. Forget Norsky Lad and Bouchasson as they come to the next plain fence. And it's Beau on the inside of Folly Road, but here goes King's Road up on the outside to apply some pressure. Just in behind them, Windross, who's very handy. Jean Jean is next, followed then by King's Mark as they come to the next plain fence. Further back is Fox Chapel King. Back in the field is Ad Hoc, who's made some ground in company there with Spended. They come now towards 6 out. The last one down the back, and King's Road is the leader in the Hennessy. From Jean Jean running a big race. Beau jumps back up into to be sharing the lead again, followed by Red Marauder, who's there on the outside. Windross behind in the second wave of horses, tucked away on the inside from Folly Road as they prepare to leave the back. And further back in the field then Spended, Strong Tell right around the outside, but King's Road from Beau, Jean Jean and Red Marauder as they leave the back. Here comes Strong Tell. King's Mark the grey in behind, followed by Ad Hoc, the other Robert Ogden runner, out deep on the track with a green cap. Further back in the field then Fox Chapel King from Alexander Banquet. They've kicked away from Windross and Lady Cricket. They come to 5 out now. The cross fence, and Ad Hoc is a faller. The leader here is Jean Jean from Strong Tell and Red Marauder. King's Road still there pushing away, followed then by Fox Chapel King from Alexander Banquet. King's Mark the grey is in behind, horses on the inside from Lady Cricket and Beau. They straighten up for the judge. They've got 4 left to jump in the Hennessy. King's Road on the far side from Jean Jean. Just in behind them, battling away is Red Marauder, Strong Tell, Alexander Banquet called on for an effort. Fox Chapel King, they come to 4 out. King's Road and Jean Jean together. King's Road on the far side from Jean Jean, the near side. Further back in the field then is Alexander Banquet, followed then by Red Marauder, King's Mark, Lady Cricket and Strong Tell. At the next now to Jean Jean on the near side, ranging up to King's Road with 2 left to jump. It's Jean Jean on the near side, King's Road the far side. They're 5 lengths to Alexander Banquet in company there with Red Marauder over the second last. Jamie Goldstein riding for dear life on the far side on King's Road. On the near side, there's Jean Jambres battling away. They come now towards the last. It's King's Road and Jean Jambres together. King's Road, the far side, steady, but grabbed by Jean Jambres, a touchdown. It's Jean Jambres on the inside who's now going into the lead. King's Road is fighting back on the run-in. They race towards the elbow. King's Road, Jamie Goldstein gaining the upper hand from Jean Jambres, who can't find any more. But what a performance as they race up towards the line. It's King's Road who's going to win the Hennessy for Jamie Goldstein and Nigel Tristan Davies. In second is Jean Jambres. In third then is Alexandra Banquet. Tight for fourth, Lady Cricket, a game run just ahead of Red Marauder. Followed then by King's Mark and Fox Chapel King. They're followed by Strong Tell. And they are the only finishers. The others have been pulled up. The winner, though, is number 11, King's Road, owned by Mrs. Nicholas Jones, trained by Nigel Twiston Davis, ridden by Jamie Goldstein. What a ride it was, and what a performance in this ground. And the 7-to-1 winner of the Hennessy, King's Road, gets a quote of 20-to-1 for the Gold Cup now from Ladbrokes and William Hill, with Seymour Business remaining the 7-to-2 favourite. So the winner is number 11, King's Road, but what a great win for Jamie Goldstein. Second is number 13, Jean Jambres, owned and trained by Lavinia Taylor. How proud she must feel of the horse, Andrew Thornton in the saddle. And third, number 3, Alexandra Banquet, owned by Mrs. Eno Callaghan, trained by Willie Mullins and ridden by Ruby Wash. Photo fourth, it rests between 7, Lady Cricket, owned by David Johnson, trained by Martin Pipe, ridden by Tony McCoy. And the other one in the photo with Lady Cricket is number 6, Red Marauder, owned and trained by Norman Mason, ridden by Richard Guest. Only 3 other finishers, King's Mark, Fox Chapel King and Strong Tell. But there's the winner, King's Road.
A good pace, I thought, in this ground, Stu, and this is where Ad Hoc goes.
Yeah, he was going very well. That's him just on the outside. Just got in close there. So you've got that downhill run to it. Really, the ground runs away from you there. You've got no chance of standing up. But you always ride a lovely race, as they say, when you ride a winner. But a lovely ride that Jamie Goldstein has given this horse. He's not the best jumper in the world. Just comes to 2 out there. You can see he lands a little bit steep. And I was very confident from here, because I knew that when Jamie really went for him, he'd find more. He hasn't hit him till late. The other horse in the green there, Genome, is going very well and gets a better jump, in fact, at the last. But here, even though that he's gone at length up on King's Road, as I say, I knew that he would run on again when he went for him, and he's a lazy type of horse. I remember seeing him win over hurdles here, and he was beaten going to the last, and he just goes away again. Well, he loves this ground.
You rode a great race in here on your chair, but you knew this horse would find, providing he got over the last.
Yeah, as I say, I saw him win his bumper on the same day that Earth Summit won the National in very, very heavy ground. And no, I'm delighted. It's a lovely ride by Jamie, because, as I say, he's still a little bit novice-y at his fences, but he's presented him, he's given him light, he's always been in the right position at the right time, and there it is, the delighted Jamie Goldstein.
Distances 5 lengths and 15. 5 lengths and 15. And a hero's welcome for King's Road, who incidentally is now a 16-to-1 chance for the Grand National. Let's have a look now at the full SP on the Hennessy.
First, number 11, King's Road at 7-to-1. Second, number 13, ran a massive race, Ginjombra at 20-to-1, having been backed at 40-to-1 in the offices this morning. Third, number 3, Alexander Banquet at 8-to-1. And fourth, number 7, Lady Cricket at 8-to-1. There were 17 runners in the Hennessy, so you get paid for the first 4. King's Road, the 7-to-1 winner.
I'll check. Well, Jamie Goldstein ahead of me is just explaining how he won the race. What a fantastic performance. What a great reception. This has to be the biggest moment of your career so far.
Definitely, without
Just watch you don't get kicked behind you.
He's a legendary horse. I mean, the test of stamina, the ground, the trip, brilliant. Suit him down to the ground. And I always knew I was going to win it from the last. I knew he was going to pick up and fly for the line. And that was brilliant.
And this is the sort of victory you need to really kickstart a career as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been based with Nigel 5 years now, and he's given me lots of chances now, and it's brilliant. And to get on a horse like this is unreal. He's brilliant.
And the owners, actually, they gave you a great big kiss, didn't they? They were very pleased.
Oh, they're over the moon, absolutely over the moon.
Well, it's wonderful for you, but I hope you go on to even better things as well. It's a great start. Well done, Jamie.
Thank you very much.
Well, what a tremendous finish to the Hennessy Cognac Gold Cup. 3 fences out, you still would have thought any one of about 5 could win it. It really was a great, tremendous race. Every bit as good as we built it up to be. So watch out for that as well. But from Newbury for the moment, goodbye. Very heavy downpour just before racing started, but it didn't put off the crowds, and plenty of them were here in attendance to see the opening of the brand new Tattersalls grandstand, which had cost £9 million, and Zara Phillips opened this on behalf of her great-grandmother, the Queen Mother. That, though, was a sight of the future as far as the Hennessy was concerned. It's one of the oldest sponsored races in the calendar. It was the 44th running, and 17 horses lined up. Let's see the climax with commentary from Jim McGrath.
They come now towards the last. It's King's Road and Jan Jom together. King's Road the far side, steady, but grabbed by Jan Jom as they touch down. It's Jan Jom on the inside who's now going into the lead. King's Road is fighting back on the run-in. They race towards the elbow. King's Road, Jamie Goldstein gaining the upper hand from Jan Jom, who can't find any more. But what a performance as they race up towards the line. It's King's Road who's going to win the Hennessy for Jamie Goldstein and Nigel Tristan-Davies. And second is Jan Jom.
Well, what a finish to the Hennessy for the year 2000. King's Road, the winner, trained by Nigel Tristan-Davies and returned at 7-1. Jean Jambra, a big price at 20-1, but had been supported in the market, finished second. Third was Alexander